Welcome back. So here I'm on Adobe Photoshop, and previously, if you remember, we did these gradients with using uh, the brush tool on Adobe Photoshop. And basically, the technique I'm going to use, and the one that you all came here, I guess, is a pretty simple one. It's been on Adobe Photoshop for a very long time that I can remember, but it's pretty cool when used properly, and you can experiment with it and create anything. Something I have to say is that this technique it's pretty simple. You have actually to play a lot in order to get it right. So that's why I created so many layers, and that's why I have so many options to play one. So if I don't like this one, I can play with the other one, or like I can edit this and change it later on, and so on and so on. All right, so the technique is called liquify. Pretty much, I guess you all know it, but I also knew it. I used it for different purpose. So when it came to design, I was like, oh, maybe I could use this technique and create some really cool stuff. All right, so I have the layer selected, layer one, and I have this gradient, which was on layer one. And here on Liquify, you have many options, but in this case, I'm going to use the forward warp tool and twirl clockwise tool. Well, I didn't know the name until now, but all right. I'm going to use this one, and also keep in mind that you have to have all these options here: 100 density, rate, and pressure to 100, and size maybe to, yeah, like depending on the size of your document. Just look at this brush I have right now, maybe around this size. All right, so what I'm gonna do now with a twirl, was it called? Yeah, it was twirl. With a twirl tool, I'm just gonna apply it over, and this is just gonna scatter around the whole thing and make it more liquefied and abstract. So let's try that. So more I keep it like this, the more it's spreading the whole thing. So keep in mind that more you play with this, more it's gonna lose its details. So I'm just not gonna play that much with it. I'm maybe gonna stuck somewhere here, and maybe behind. And here you also have keep in mind that you also have reconstruct, that you can press that, and then if you play around with this, it goes back to what you had before. So you see, like, you can even do that. I'm just gonna go somewhere here. All right, and click OK. Let's see how this looks here. Looks pretty good in a way, but I'm not sure if I want to use this. Let's grab the other one, which was this one, and let's do the same thing to this, like liquify, and get the swirl tool, and let's see what these can create. All right, I'm just keeping it pressed, and it's making these shapes. It automatically generates it. I think here is okay. I don't want to over exaggerate with this. Maybe it was good if I would have copied that and made a different copy, but I kind of don't like that on the background. This came really nice in a way. Just gonna keep this one in here. Maybe I'm gonna play a little bit with this one. I'm gonna go again to liquify, and then just play around a little bit with these two. Let's leave it here. Well, I'm not pretty sure. This kind of looks really nice, and I think what really works with this technique is having sharp edges, meaning that this before, let's go back for a moment. You see, this before had these sharp edges. So when you add it in Liquify, it kind of creates sharp edges as well. So if it is a smooth gradient, it kind of keeps it smooth. Depends on how you like it, but for me, this kind of works best and looks better. But I'm really curious to see the gradients I used in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm just going to go on Illustrator and grab this. I'm going to use this one because it has sharp edges, and let's see how that looks with some liquify effect. All right, I'm just gonna add it in here. Okay, it's taking a few. I don't remember if I added a vector smart object or just pixel, but I think if I add it as a smart object, it's just gonna be, we're gonna convert it into, you know, rasterize it and have it just pixel. All right. I'm sorry, this kind of takes sometimes long because I use really big format for the posters, and I make sure that those are big files because I need also to print them in the end. So in case you're doing this and you want it to have it for print, I highly recommend that you have a higher resolution and also a big file, so you can kind of, you know, print it later on and still it's gonna look good. Okay, this is taking longer than I thought. All right, I'm gonna skip here and come back to when it finishes. All right, so sorry for keeping you wait. Here it is. I added as a smart object. That was bad, so I'm just gonna rasterize it and have it all pixel. So I'm gonna go to filter and liquify, and basically I'm gonna apply the same thing to this, and let's see how this looks like. All right, I'm just gonna take a bit of this orange here because I really like it. Okay. Maybe I'm just gonna go back to this and grab only this part here and Command J and then delete this layer and keep this one, and maybe just play with this one. All right, let's see what we can do. Also keep in mind that you can use this tool, let's make it big, and that you can drag things around like that. Like if you want to extend the orange more, or like one part of it, and then you can go back and grab the other tool and just, you know, add this twirl effect and so on. I don't like that purple that much, or like the brown effect that it got in some parts, but yeah, I'm just maybe gonna stick with it here. Let's see how it looks with a dark background. Alright, maybe I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger, bring it somewhere here, and let's grab, let's make a circle. I'm creating a new layer, right click, make a circle, and keep it in the middle somewhere here. And then I'm gonna create a mask of that on top of the circle. And let's make the circle the same color as the background. Alright, and let's drag this and see where it fits best. Maybe somewhere here, I don't know, but let's see how this fits with the other one that we liked. Alright. I kind of like only this one we got, but as I mentioned before, the whole process of this is like basically you have to try different stuff and see what works and what doesn't, and try different elements. In this case, it couldn't even be something that you generated as a gradient and made it. It could even be something else that you have designed previously and use it. For example, I'm just gonna go on the graphic pack if I find it. I think I have it somewhere. Graphic pack. All right, you can grab some of this stuff for free, but also you can purchase and get few of these elements. So I'm just gonna go on maybe gradient shapes and let's see what we have here. All right, this one, maybe this one. Let's try this one. Oh, this is a PSD file. Let's see how. Select all, copy, and I'm gonna go and come here and then go liquify and do the same thing to this one as well. And let's see what we can create with this. You know, it's more like you get an image, you add it here. If you like it, then you keep it. Otherwise, try something else. Don't get stuck with it. I don't like this as well. I'm gonna go maybe to the same folder, but let's get this abstract. No, I don't remember where. Oh, I think it's paintings. All right, so I have a few stuff here. Maybe some of this. I'm gonna just drag it here, make it smaller. All right, I'm just gonna rasterize it, filter, liquify, and we're gonna apply the same thing. Let's see what we can create. This is pretty cool actually, but come on. All right. So depends where you want to stop or where you like it, and just stop there. Maybe I'm gonna select some of this part here and crop it, but let's see how that looks like with the other part of the background. So I'm just gonna zoom this up and make it bigger and just bring some part of it here. I'm not sure. I'm still not really sure if this is the right one, but I'm maybe gonna select some of this and have it as a separate object. Right, duplicate, and let's see how only that looks. Okay, looks not that bad, but I kind of really do like this one, what I created here. So what basically I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna duplicate this, bring it here, and then go to liquify again, and I'm gonna double liquify this, so in order to get some different shape from what I have. And all right, maybe this is good. Let's see. Okay, maybe just not that much. Maybe make it bigger. Okay, maybe I'm gonna add it on the background. Let's see how it fits with the other part. And just grab some of it here. Duplicate. All right, let's see if it makes a. Okay, I kind of like where this is going. I hope you understood something on the liquify. You can go and play around with whatever you want, but this is basically the technique. This is basically what you can do, and you can even, you know, use different images and create your own stuff, like not exactly the gradients that I used. You can even get an image from the internet or something that you really like, of a flower or something, and just do the liquify effect, and it still is gonna look, I guess, good. And I mean, you have to play with as you saw, you have to play a lot with the liquify effect, and you have to create different gradients, I guess, different shapes, until you get to that point that you are like, oh, this is pretty cool, and I really like this one. So in my case, I just, you know, I'm still not happy with it. I'm gonna play a little bit more, but let's see on the next video, where I'm gonna add some more stuff to this poster.